Good evening and welcome to Corporate News. I'm here with Cromwell.
Oi, Anna.
And I am, of course, Anna Kale, your wonderful hostess for the evening. And somebody's already opening the door. Joe is busting into our super formal show and adjusting things. I don't know why.
Right. Well, hopefully something's happening to our faces. It's a good thing and not a bad thing.
Hopefully. So, Cromwell, would you care to let us know what happened last week?
All right. Well, get this, chummers. We'd infiltrated the town hall of Seattle, what is very hard to do. I was in there as a chef, and everyone else had found their own way in, one way or the other, mostly through an unguarded door. Well, it turns out most of the guards in this place, most of security, had been paid off by somebody. Who paid them off? I don't know. I'm not the smart one of the group, but I'm not sure anyone yet knows. Maybe it was the troll killers what did it, but they don't really seem like this sort of, I don't know, sophisticated gang that could organize something like that. Anyway, the whole point of why we was there was this lady, Jugashvili, was going to give a speech, right? She had a chance to be the governor of the Seattle Metroplex, and she biffed it. But she's still around, maybe still running for office again. She was going to give a speech. We was there to protect her. Well, it turns out these teams of people started coming in the building, and we took the teams out like this and like this and like this. No real sweat, right? No sweat. But what we didn't do is, search the main floor for any sort of devices or explosives. So, having neglected that, we might not get paid, because they went off, big flashbangs, fire spirits everywhere, and then what comes in but some other runners. And they're not we're a good runner team. I'm sure that you're very impressed with our skills, but this runner team adds some more of them, I'm afraid. The big one.
So there was another Shadowrun team there, but they weren't there to also help protect this person. Right.
We was the totally legitimate Shadowrun team. They was an illegitimate Shadowrun team there to, I don't really know why they were there, but they kidnapped Jugashvili. They ran outside, they put her in a van. Mordecai summoned the most giant sharky I've ever seen him summon. But all of it was to no avail. The van took off, and as we left things, I'm standing in front of this cyber arm guy, who seems to be able to take whatever punches I can give him.
Oh no. So you are, at the moment, standing toe-to-toe with an adversary.
Yes.
That is...
Well, I'll just say, I wouldn't, if I were a betting man, I'm not sure who I'd bet on. I have a pretty hard head, but he's got a pretty hard body.
Especially if it's made of chrome.
Right, it seems to be. So, we'll see how that goes. They're probably angry with us, but I hears that we may have another mission already on the books, so...
Another mission already? I wonder who could have hired them, or who could be the potential new employer of the runners.
I thinks that I don't know, even if others do. So.
Pretty sure that I do. Well, thank you very, very much for the summary. We have a bunch of news to cover and some very important announcements to follow up with. So I will let you go and prepare for your fight and for your next run. Thank you very much for giving us that recap.
All right, keep your bow ties tied, chummers.
Thank you, Grandma. All right, so have I got a lot of news for all of you today? Let me load up the appropriate document. I've got chat in the way at the moment. Well, we'll start with what I have in front of me, the official action point numbers for the week. Shiawase crushed it this week. They obliterated all competition by acquiring a stunning 23 action points. 23 out of 100 action points, almost a full quarter, went to Shiawase this week. That is unprecedented. Granted, we don't have a lot of precedent set already, still unprecedented. Evo and Seder Krupp fall behind them at 12 action points apiece. Joe, news theme. I don't think we're going to get it. Yeah, we're not going to get the news theme. Sorry, guys. Wuxing came in behind them with 10 action points, and then Ares, Neonet, and Renraku all behind that with 8 action points apiece. As Technology is behind them with 7, while Horizon and Mitsuhama trail in the tail end of the spectrum with just 6 action points apiece. So once again, Shiwase absolutely crushing it through sheer force of gratuity with 23 action points this week. What they're going to do with them is anyone's guess, but I'm looking forward to finding out. So, we move on to our news segment right now. Right, so that's not what I need. Sorry, apologies. Last week's news. Seirokrup called a press conference this past week with, whoops, I'm a professional. Called a press conference last week that left everyone in attendance a bit puzzled as to its purpose. In summation, the statement Seirokrup released amounted merely to this. Seirokrup creates high-tech solutions and logistics for all varieties of goods and services. We are happy to provide for our loyal heavy industries customers, such as the other corporations that rely on leaders such as ourselves. Our mission regarding being a leading supply chain is to see profitable growth through superior customer service, innovation, quality, and commitment. Seirokrup's core values guide us in how we conduct ourselves personally and professionally. In this ever-changing industrious sixth world, our core values are constant. These values underlie our work, how we interact with each other, and which strategies we employ to fulfill our mission. Our core values are the practices we use every day in everything we do. And while that's a wonderful statement, everybody is a bit curious what it pertains to, why it was made just now. Meanwhile, Ares Macro Technology has been busy performing research in their media and aerospace sectors. While advances seem to have been made in media, aerospace remained at a static rate. Additionally, in a move that surprised many, including their stockholders, Ares sold their entire shipping branch to Shiawase. The corporation had this to say. At the close of business today, Ares Macro Technology has sold its shipping department, Mercury Express, to Shiawase Cargo Lifting. This trade comes as a bit of a surprise to Ares shareholders. However, Arthur Vogel issued a small statement to quell any fears they may have. By stepping away from the shipping sector, we have freed up corporate funds to strategically increase our market share in other, more viable areas. There are great things in store for Ares Macro Technology in the future. Mitsuhama saw increased security as a new executive came on board. The CEO Toshiro Mitsuhama himself released the following statement. At this moment in time, Mitsuhama Computer Technologies would like to formally welcome Goobers 515 into the MCT family. Mr. Goobers was one of the hottest free agents on the market, with many corps vying for his contract. However, MCT was able to secure said contract with ease as Mr. Goobers was drawn to our many benefits, including our robotics division and our brand new Robo-Jackals. We look forward to many great times. We'd also like to take this time to make a further announcement. Recently, we have acquired and established our own aerospace division. With it, we'll expand our efforts on the Kilimanjaro Mass Driver and begin the Mitsuhama Space Initiative. With the initiative, we aim to explore space and benefit from all that it can offer. From asteroid mining to deep space exploration, stay tuned for more announcements in this area. Wuxing had a bit of bad luck in a public way due to the new security system going haywire during the big launch of the new protection bots. A fatal glitch caused them to start attacking guests. Thankfully, there were no fatalities. However, considerable damage was inflicted to the properties. Lotus Financial is expected to recover quickly as they start a rebuilding phase. The studio spoke to the manager and he had this to say: "We have resolved to immediately take action in regards to this. The people who were the cause of this unbalance will be removed from decision-making positions." As Technology announced their new consumer goods breakthrough, the As Technology Soy Purifier. Now all soy-based food is even more delicious and nutritious. Everyone in the sixth world can now enjoy tasty and even more healthy soy-based products. With our new Soy Purifier, the possibilities are endless. The Soy Purifier coming to stores near you. As Technology, the way to a healthier and better tomorrow. Renraku and Evo both launched investigations into attacks they sustained, while Evo also managed to make headway in their biotech research. Horizon and Neonet Horizon and Neonet seem to have been in a heightened state of security, though the cause of this remains unknown. And finally, Shiwase launched a new law enforcement branch, but as yet has not released a statement on that. That's all for the news. However, I have some major announcements affecting the Corporate Wars metagame that surrounds Shadowrun Corporate Sins. Now, this is so new that I was literally working on it when Joe said, "Okay, I'm going to count you down." I want to emphasize that this is very much still a work in progress, but we are pushing as hard and as fast as we can to get this to you as quickly as possible, to keep the corporate metagame as cutting edge as we can, if you will, to drive to you as much of this unique way of doing role-playing games on Twitch as we can, as quickly as we can. What we are unveiling is a way to spend your market shares, your actual market shares in, your actual market shares in different segments and use them to buy things. Okay, I'm just gonna stop talking for 5 seconds while I do this. There. Okay. So the moderators have a link that they can use to show you what is I would say not quite the final draft, but the information is accurate. It's going to be presented a little bit differently. You can ignore the things on the side there. Listing each characters, that is a little hint of something to come, but ignore those for now. I will get a finalized version right after the show is over, but for now that'll give you something to look at while I explain to you what it is. These are ways for you to buy things that affect the metagame and affect Shadowrun Corporate Sins itself. The actual RPG game that we watch every Wednesday night, you can have an impact on with this buying system. So for example, if your corporation has 200 billion nuyen in value in their market share, you could spend 100 billion of that, and Harebrained Schemes themselves will design a t-shirt for you that we will then offer on our Teespring store. The proceeds of that will count towards your corporation's income in terms of as though it were a gratuity. So that will actually pay you back in a sense in a week's worth of market share action points. So, but at that point, you would go from having had 200 billion million in market share to 100 billion million. So that is spent like cash. Once you've spent it, it's gone. So that's the basics of how it works. You can see there are a lot of different options in there. Yes, Zen State, you can post that link. Just bear in mind, everyone, that this is not the finalized presentable version. This is a draft of it, and I will have a link for you by the end or at the end of this show. As they start Shadowrun Corporate Sins, I'll get something more formalized that you'll be able to that'll be a bit more tangible. And then as soon as possible, we'll get this up on the Stray Logic site where all of the other information is. But for now, we've got that. In fact, let me change this thing so it gets a little less confusing. And there we are. And we have the Overlord himself here to chime in.
Did you get through all these?
Have I explained every single one of them? No, I did one.
I wish we could show your screen so everybody could see it.
Yeah, I gave them the link to this
cool,
for now,
cool.
so they
Well,
can
that
at least
works.
fire it up. But we don't really quite necessarily have time to go through every single one of them.
Because there's a lot of shit.
Maybe hit some highlights. Yeah, the bags under my eyes are shown on this screen that I can't show you all.
I'm going to teach you the ways of surviving off no sleep. I don't know if you want to do that to yourself, but if you really enjoy more depression, less energy, chronic fatigue, let me know and I can give you some tips.
So here's the thing about that. Before I came out here, I wasn't aging. I had stopped that because I didn't really see the point. I've started aging since I came out here.
Wait, you didn't see the point
why.
in aging?
Well, yeah. Do you? So I just stopped.
I mean, I'm
and it was working until I came here.
Cool. Yeah, I've got a little gray in my beard. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a good time. So guys, I'm really excited about this. Hopefully you guys are really pumped about this too. We're going to constantly be adding new things to this corporate war based on the stuff that you guys are suggesting, and we listened to feedback, and a lot of people wanted the market value to mean something rather than just be a leaderboard. So we thought this would be a fun way to constantly be shaking things up and keeping people constantly moving at their position on things and wanting to invest in different things. Now, I'm sure Anna mentioned this is not a locked list. If you guys really want to see something on there or have ideas, please
let us know.
That we would love to add stuff. Like, this is something that Anna and Jordan and myself have been working on for a couple weeks, and trying to come up with things that you guys might think is fun without breaking the game, that the corporate war game or the Shadowrun game. But I'm sure we didn't get close to thinking of everything. Yeah. And you guys have some great ideas. Sometimes you guys have terrible ideas, but it doesn't matter. We can look at them and go, nah, but then sometimes a good idea comes and goes, oh shit, we should do that. So if you have ideas, send them our way. We'll definitely implement it, and I'm excited to start seeing people buy stuff. And the other thing is, like, this is an open market. It doesn't have to happen now. It can be at any time. Yep. You guys just want to message us and be like, we want that. Let's do that.
Well, to be fair, the heads of the corporations need to message
the
us.
Heads of the corporations.
This locks at the same time that AP locks. So you can message me anytime over the course of the week for this, if you or get your corporate heads to message me anytime over the course of the week to make these purchases. They go into effect at the start of this show every week. But there isn't a set time in which you can purchase
and we won't release publicly what people buy. That's the other thing. Like, obviously if someone buys a commercial and then it airs, you'll know who bought a commercial, and you'll probably be able to track when people start losing market value. But we're not going to announce it. It's just an open market that you guys can buy stuff on, and we'll keep adding stuff to it when we come up with ideas and more fun things for you guys to do. But we want you to feel like when you're playing this game, you actually have things that you can purchase that can be real life items or stuff that just help your chances of getting more AP and stuff like that. So
and again, like, the whole point of this is as a sort of thank you for supporting the channel. It's supposed to be as fun as possible. We want to give you something that's enjoyable and interactive, and that comes best from your feedback. So feel free to send that our way, and we will do our best to incorporate your ideas. And if I will freely admit that there's some imbalance in that. Media has 5 different things that you
Yes.
can buy, and agriculture has 2. Or
And the
things
honest
like
truth of that is it's easier to come up with ideas for media. That's just the honest truth. We didn't create all of these different markets that exist, but we are having to create what you purchase from it. So if you guys have ideas for agriculture, let us know and we'll add stuff to it. We did think that it's like, crap, there's a lot of stuff for media, but we also made some of them priced a lot higher to reflect that.
And we tried to balance the things themselves, so there's only one thing for agriculture, but I think it's pretty darn
It can
cool.
it can help you out a lot.
Yeah. Agriculture, for example, gives you a buff on your growth rolls. So it means that if you do research in agriculture, for example, since we know you have a segment there, then it will, you will get basically a 10% of whatever that percentage is. So we'll take that final roll of the percentage. Say you would have gained 32%. Well, now you're going to gain 35.2%. That much more additional growth will happen because you spent that bit in agriculture. So, and that's across the board too. It's not just agriculture.
I would also like to state, as the new head of Shiawassee, we're going to sell all of our market research in every department at 20% off the market value price. So you guys, just whoever messages Arizona first and lets them know you want that item, get to that. It's going to go away quick.
Right. So if people have questions about this, I've got 5 or 10 more minutes to discuss it with you all. I know it's a lot to drop on you really quickly at a very short amount of time. In fact, only 1 or 2 of our moderators have even seen this prior to this evening, but I have been nose down working on this for the majority of this week thus far. So if you have questions, feel free to ask. That goes for the moderators as well, although if you ask me in Discord, I won't see it right now because I don't have that open at the moment. But what is the problem, Lumiere? We just so there are some really cool things in there. Agriculture, possibly not the best example I could have picked. Shipping, for example, is another tough one that only has one thing in it, but it makes research and development cost less. Energy means that you get a 10% more. You get 10% more AP. So if Shiawassee invested in energy next week, or had invested in it this week, then they would have gotten an extra 3 AP or 2.3 AP, so 2 rounded off AP this week for nothing, above and beyond the 100 that get divided up. Or for example, one of the corporations that got only 6 this week, they would have gotten 7 because it's a minimum of 1. So there are some really cool things that you can do with this. It's going to take some balancing, but it'll take some balancing. But we look forward to doing that with you all. We look forward to hearing your feedback on this and seeing how we can continue to push this forward, continue to make this the coolest new thing on Twitch, as far as I'm concerned, and make this a really fun and unique experience for you all. Do the various corps get Discover card points when spending off this chart? And if so, how much is a new French press for Lauren? No, there is no Discover card left in the world of the 2070s. If we want something from a market segment we're not participating in, how can we do that? You could, so for example, say you want a commercial. You want to get a commercial, but you have no media. Well, Horizon's got a whole lot of media. You could, in theory, purchase them purchasing the commercial for you with AP. We don't have a structure for that yet, so that's kind of on you guys, but it's similar to them selling you a market share for that amount. Possibly not the best example because that's one of the more expensive items, but same thing goes for a t-shirt. If somebody has, if another corporation has 100 billion in consumer goods and you really want that t-shirt, then in theory you could save up enough AP to get them to buy it for you. Gift them that AP such that that they will buy the t-shirt campaign for you and for your corporation. So we're kind of leaving that open to your own invention, your own designs and deviousness perhaps, but we think that that's kind of part of the fun of this game, is watching how you all interact and how you all build ways to do the things that you want to do in the system that we've built for you. So hopefully that answers your question. There's a variety of other ways that I'm sure that you could do it, but it's kind of on you to figure out what they are. And I will say, for those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, join our Discord server, be a subscriber, join our Discord server, and find out. Find out. This is Shadowrun Corporate War, which is built around Shadowrun Corporate Sins, our tabletop Shadowrun RPG game. The Corporate War itself is a system that we have built for you all to interact with the Shadowrun universe in a very unique way, as well as the campaign itself in very unique ways. And as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking of another way that is big that that you can interact with things. There's some things for defense that you could purchase. If you know the Shadowrunners are coming against you this week or next week or whatever, then you might want to add cyberware to your security forces, or add magical surveillance, or increase drone patrols or whatnot. You can do that with this system now. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Once again, do feel free to send us your feedback. We are listening. If you have ideas for things you want to see added, then by all means let us know. And I will stop taking up your time and let you get to the main show of Shadowrun Corporate Sins. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you next week.